Hey everyone, this is MC Hammered. I've been using this little monster now for almost a year. It's been on all of my tracks in this period, and it's featured also in the electric car music. And what can I say? This is a proper little synth. This the main feature is that it has this huge modulation matrix that does not require patch cables. So basically, with all these switches, you reach almost every point, and any parameter can be modulated by another parameter without using patch cables. And in design, it's very similar to and ARP Odyssey in this way. Is this basically is an ARP Odyssey clone, but as far as the Behringer edition goes, the filter, for example, does not sound so hi-fi as the Model D or the Neutron. This is what a downside to the synthesizer would be. And also, I've been missing the external outputs on the patch points for the oscillators. But integrated in this design, almost everything can be modulated by everything else. I mean, the possibilities are almost infinite with because all of these knobs here, like this whole row and these switches, is the modulation matrix, and you can have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 modulations going on simultaneously. And some people have been complaining about the envelope generator, which they test it like this. They put all the knobs down like this, and then they try this decay, and they say it's not so snappy, but basically it is. You just have to figure out how to properly use it. Like, you have to push a bit of the release up, and then the decay will start to behave a bit differently and becomes actually really snappy. I mean, I'm not so dissatisfied with the performance of this one, and by using external envelopes here, like, you can free this one or this one up to use in the other modulation possibilities. As I've stated before, the only thing I'm missing here is like the separate outputs for the oscillators on the patch points, and this AR envelope, on the other hand, is pretty shit. This is not so snappy. Um, Other than that, yeah, and compared to an actual octave cat, like, if you find some videos on the internet how this sync should work, it does not sound so hi-fi as the original cat. They came pretty close with the Model D and the Neutron, with this really hi-fi sound on the sync, cross mode, and the filter, which is not the case with this one. The oscillators do sound fat. I'm really satisfied with this performance and all these modulations that are inside these knobs, but as stated, the filter not so much. It's still a proper filter, this, and it whistles really nicely. It goes easily into self-oscillation. Again, you can, like, you have tons of options to modulate this. Maybe a good feature is this filter resonance input for the modulation. This is a nice touch, and yeah, here is then the noise, sample and hold, and that's basically it's at first glance, it doesn't really show the huge varieties of sound you can get out of this piece. We have output wise, we have here separate outputs for the ADSRs. We can control separately one or the other oscillator. It's just lacking the dedicated outputs for these two oscillators. I, I, overall I like the sound of this box. From all the Behringer synths, I've had the Model D and the Neutron. This is the one that I kept to expand with a few other modules. And I'm really satisfied with how it performs, especially with this modulation matrix inside, because then you don't have to use the patch cables to get some proper like proper sounds that do not sound so stable. Like you can get really intricate and clever sound design without using patch cables at all. So I would definitely recommend this one. You can get it like second hand for about 200 euros, and that's a hell a lot of a synth for that money. And it has its own sound, so it will sound pretty different to, for example, some Moog clones or whatever you have it. So there it is, Behringer Cat, proper synths, and I'm very satisfied with this purchase. I can only recommend it, and it has a unique filter sound, fat oscillators, very deep modulation matrix. As said, it's very similar to an Odyssey, and you can play it like two notes at the same time. If you switch it to polyphonic, you have like um, kind of two key paraphonic mode. I use that a lot also. The the LFO, alright, it's pretty good. It goes like not much into the audio rate, but it gets really slow also. Much like you can bend it for 1 octave, you can switch for 2 octaves, sub oscillators. Very similar to a drum brute, like mixing different waveforms to get a much richer sound, or a more intricate modulation source with multiple waveforms, pulse width. Like look into this modulation matrix. It's really proper, and without using patch cables, it's very convenient. So yeah, that that's it. Behringer Cat, good one. Thanks, Behringer. Good job. Maybe the envelope could be a little better, and the filter could sound a little more hi-fi. Other than that, proper synth this. So that's it, and we're out. This motherfucker.